What up, folks? It's your pal, Coach Vino, and this is the Glass Half Full podcast where we turn setbacks into comebacks. Let's go.
Yo, everybody goes through setbacks, but don't let these setbacks make you take a step back. Step back from the situation, put your brush down, envision the picture you're painting, because everybody goes through setbacks.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Coach Vino, the people's bartender, your certified coach from the Boogie Down Bronx. I hope everybody is doing well. It's a beautiful day here in New York, and I'm really excited to have you guys today with me on the podcast. So today I want to talk about something that I think a lot of people probably don't realize that they're doing and how it affects our ability to be the best version of ourselves. And what I'm talking about is lying to ourselves. Now, lying to ourselves shows up in many different ways. And today I want to discuss a few examples of how we lie to ourselves and how it might affect our ability to move forward in life. Being honest with ourselves, if we're going to be really truthful, can be challenging at times. And we may unknowingly, not intentionally, but sometimes intentionally, deceive ourselves to avoid being uncomfortable or to avoid facing difficult truths. But we need to face those things. We need to acknowledge those things in order to be a better version of ourselves. One example of that is denying our feelings. A lot of times we ignore or suppress our emotions instead of acknowledging and processing them. And this type of behavior, this leads to having, emotional imbalances and unresolved issues. And that type of shit is heavy. It weighs on you. And it's hard to move forward when you're carrying that with you. But the only way to free yourself of that heaviness is to tap into those emotions. And look, no pain, no gain. It's probably going to hurt. It's probably going to make you feel like shit. But unless you're willing to process what's going on inside of you, it's going to be like a ball and chain as you move forward in life. It's going to drag you, it's going to slow you down, and you're not going to get anywhere really fast. But what you're really doing is you're denying yourself an opportunity to grow. Because once you process all this, you'll learn more about yourself than you would if you continue to deny and suppress what it is that's going on inside of you. Another thing that people do when they're lying to themselves is they make excuses. They try to justify their poor actions or poor behavior with excuses rather than taking on the responsibility for the choices that they made. And what you're doing when you do that is you're really preventing opportunities for you to grow and to show people that you know how to take accountability for your actions. If you screwed up, own that shit. You know what I'm saying? Say you're sorry, apologize where you might have to, and then learn from it. And tell yourself that I'm not going to make those mistakes again. I learned a lesson, and that's growth. That is growth. My previous podcast, I talked about not letting your past define you. And this is a prime example of that. If you make a mistake, you need to learn to just own up to it. Apologize where you must, including to yourself, and then tell yourself you're never going to do it again and learn the lesson that is in that mistake. And just like that, you grow. That's personal growth, and that is accountability, and that's what makes you better than you were before. Another thing that people do, and this one drives me nuts because I see it a lot. And as a coach, I'm always like, I want to scream, hey, oh, what do you not see? And that's ignoring red flags. People tend to overlook these signs or these gut feelings, right? They don't follow their gut about certain situations or about certain people. And then it leads to poor decisions that lead to negative outcomes. And why do they do this? Because they're lying to themselves. They're telling themselves they know better. But do they? Do you? When your gut is telling you something don't feel right, And look, when your friends and family, someone that really cares about you saying, hey, yeah, you should probably think twice about this. You owe it to yourself to say, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't the best decision possible. Maybe going to this place or seeing this person isn't exactly the best decision for me. But often our pride gets in the way and we say, nah, it ain't what I'm good. I got this. And then we don't. And because we lie to ourselves, we end up in a situation that really stunts our ability to grow, our ability to be the best version of ourselves. And that's all we want to do in this podcast is be better. Be better than we were. And here's one that might not seem so obvious, but when you compare yourself unfairly to other people, you are lying to yourself. Because you're telling yourself that I need to be like this person. I need to have as much money as this person. I need to be in shape like this person. I need to have this job like this person. I need to be as pretty as this person. You're telling yourself you need to be like those people in order to be a better person, in order to love yourself, in order for other people to love you. Constantly comparing yourself to others and feeling, inferior based on those comparisons, that distorts your self-perception and it diminishes your self-worth. And you are better than that. Of course, it would be nice to be rich. Of course, it would be nice to have the perfect body, to have nice cars, to live on the beach. But ultimately, personal growth is about finding happiness where you are. That is fulfillment. You need to learn that who you are is good enough as long as you're doing the work to be a happy person. And you're not looking outside of yourself for true fulfillment. All right, I'm going to give you guys a couple more reasons before, I wrap up this podcast. And this one I think is really important, and that's avoiding feedback. When we refuse to seek or accept constructive feedback, then what we're really doing is we're limiting our opportunities for growth. And we're preventing ourselves from kind of seeing those blind spots in the things we do. We're not perfect. We're not meant to be perfect. So that's why it's important to listen to people when they're willing to give you constructive feedback, when it comes from a good place. Because all you gain from that is growth opportunities. There's literally no negative that comes out of it. It's a win-win situation if you're really going to be honest with yourself. But if you're going to lie to yourself and tell yourself, nah, I'm good, I'm perfect, I don't make mistakes, I don't do anything wrong, so I don't need to listen to anybody, because you're afraid or you just refuse to listen to the feedback, then you are lying to yourself. The perfect example is the fact that even the greatest athletes in the world are taking constructive feedback from their coaches. You think Michael Jordan didn't hear it from Phil Jackson? You think Derek Jeter didn't hear it from Joe Torre? You think Tom Brady didn't hear it from Bill Belichick? Of course they did. Because those coaches, those managers wanted to get the best out of these athletes. And those athletes realized that if they wanted to be the best, they needed to know where the flaws in their game were. And that's the same thing with real life. You're not perfect. And if there's someone out there that has your best interest at heart and really wants to help you get better, then it behooves you to listen to them. And to say, you know what, I don't necessarily have to agree with what you're saying, but I do want to take it into consideration because maybe, just maybe, they're right. This next one it's going to be harsh. And this one's about rationalizing bad habits. A lot of times people will justify, unhealthy habits or behaviors by convincing themselves that maybe they're not harmful or maybe that one day you'll change. And this is just going to hinder your personal development and potentially your well-being. And this could show itself in many different ways. If you ignore your doctors when they're telling you to stop doing certain things, and you tell yourself, oh, it's fine, I feel great, because you lack the discipline to do what's necessary, then you're lying to yourself. If you are betting too much, if you're a big gambler, and it's starting to affect your ability to pay the bills, but you are denying that you have a gambling addiction, then what you're doing is you're lying to yourself. So I think you get my drift. Stop letting poor decisions and poor habits and poor behavior be okay. It's not. And when you rationalize it, you are lying to yourself and you are denying yourself the chance for personal growth. And the last one I want to give you, and there's plenty more, is denying change. When you deny change, when you resist change and you cling to what's familiar, to what's comfortable, even if it's not serving you well, that is lying to yourself. Because you're telling yourself, oh, I don't need to make a change. Everything's okay. I'm sure if I stick it out at this shit job, that they're eventually going to acknowledge me and reward me with a big promotion, right? Or maybe if I stay with this person that treats me really poorly, that they'll eventually change and we'll be happy together. Oh wait, I know, if I continue to hang out with this group of friends, maybe eventually they'll learn to respect me. Well, good luck with that. Because the longer you continue to tell yourself these things, the longer you are denying yourself an opportunity to be happy, an opportunity for personal growth. Well, look, that's all I got for you today, guys. I mean, there's definitely other ways that lying to yourself shows up. But when you recognize these self-deceptions, that is your first step towards having self-awareness. And the first step towards personal growth. By challenging these lies and just embracing honesty, you can create a more authentic and fulfilling life for yourself. I stress to you that it is essential to practice self-reflection, to seek feedback, and to be willing to confront uncomfortable truths and break free from self-deception so that you can live more authentically. All right, well, look, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you or someone you know would like to work with Coach Vino, you can visit my website, coachvinollc.com. Or if you just want to hang out with me on social media, you can find me anywhere at Coach Vino LLC, where I share my love for libations and motivation. And until next time, folks, remember, if nobody else tells you, Coach Vino appreciate you. Cheers.
To reveal these thoughts and express what I'm feeling in a hip-hop form, but I was born to succeed, so as long as I breathe, ain't nobody on this earth gonna crush my dreams. Yo, this might be the end of the verse, but this is just the start of a new beginning. Word.